funny how all this happens, and just how I'm back, how I'm here, how I'm standing in this hallway that I walked so many times, you know, during my freshman and my sophomore and junior and senior year of high school here. And it's just funny. It's when walking these halls, you know, I remember everything I was feeling and just how I was trying to figure out who I was. I was trying to find out what Aaron meant, but at the same time I was filling myself with stuff that I, at the time, didn't necessarily realize, but I kind of knew in the back of my head that wasn't going to fill me, that wasn't going to make me. But in the meantime, I did it because I knew it was happy, and I knew it was like, you know, it'd be cool to do this and to get in this crowd and to get these perks and to like get invited to those parties that I wanted to go to, be with the people I wanted to get with. I had to do that, and so I did it. But I remember being here. We always used to joke that like the big stairwells that used to be they're on the outside of Glen Oak. We always used to joke that those were like big like turrets in like a castle, and that this used to be like some like old castle, like Soviet prison or something like that. And we always used to joke about it, but at the same time, it was for me. It was a prison being here, and I never knew what prison meant until I learned what freedom means, what it means to be free, what it means to be free from all the stuff that the time was plaguing me, and the time I was trying to fill myself with, you know, all those people, all those objects, all those things I was watching. You know, I never knew at the time what it was doing to me and how it was making this seem like a prison, and how I was putting myself in jail thinking that I was living outside of a cage when really I was putting myself in the cage. I remember driving back to my parents' house and walking in the door. My mom was there and she met me, and she was like, "Hey, like, you know, how was confirmation? How'd it go?" And I was like, "It was good, you know, it was all right." And just kind of like got out of that, walked upstairs, and I remember walking up the stairs and sitting down in my parents' game room. There was this chair there. I remember it so clearly. Sitting down, and for whatever reason, this thought came over me. And it was a thought I hadn't faced before. It was something I was suppressing for so long, and God brought it up, and He was like, "Aaron, think about this." And the thought that popped into my mind was this. It was a question. It was, "Aaron, what are you doing with your life?" And I realized in that moment I couldn't answer that. And the only answer that could come up after thinking and thinking and thinking was, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know who I'm becoming. I don't know what I'm living for. I don't know me. I don't know who I am. And this rocked me so bad to the point where I was just like crying. I was bawling my eyes out because I didn't know who I was. I felt lost. I felt like I didn't have an answer. I felt like one of these trees that's around me where it's like all fallen and it's decayed and there's nothing that can bring it back to life. I felt that's how I was feeling. But then I felt something I hadn't felt before. Then I felt, as I was sitting there broken, I felt the Holy Spirit. I just felt Him just move through my body, starting like with my toes, moving all the way up through my body. It was like this rushing feeling of warmth and love. And during this, I remember as clear as a bell, I remember the Lord speaking to me, just being like, "Aaron, get up and come follow me." And I did. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that was something I had to do. I knew that I had to follow Him. I knew that that was how I was going to find out what life and love were and why. And that night my life changed. After that, I made that choice to live for the Lord, to give my life, to surrender, and to take up my cross daily and to serve Him. Because a life living for God is a life worth living, so much so. And my life's never been the same. Everything that I have now, every person I've met, all the people I've just run into, and the person I've become today would have been nothing. It wouldn't have happened without Jesus. Without that night, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know who I'd be. But I know God is real. I know He loves me. I know He loves you. And if God can change me, He can change anybody, for real. Like, it's so rad. It's so rad, just that freedom. He let me out of that prison. And now I understand how valuable freedom is, how much it it means, and just how living a life for God is just the best. It's the best, man. It's crazy. But that's love. And who can explain that?